The Aquascape lifestyle. Oh yeah, I love that spillway bowl. Starting out the pondless waterfalls. Very nice. I love it. It's a very quaint, and I love how Brian fit it right in here, right between the patio and the walkway and the outdoor shed.
And the vegetable garden.
Oh my gosh, a vegetable garden. You have a lot here. He's taking us on a road trip. You know where we're going?
Over to your son's place? Awesome.
And there's Brian already messing with something. What are you doing, Brian? Checking the pump vault? Make sure there's enough water? Hasn't even been mulched yet. This is really brand new. Living the Aquascape lifestyle. So what's the story here, buddy?
This is a great couple. We built them a pond in their backyard probably 4 or 5 years ago. I don't want to say we, but Nick, Tim, and one other guy did a small pond in the backyard. And you know how it goes. Like, how many ponds do people go through in their lifetime?
Yeah,
right?
3. Good, better, best,
Yeah.
big, bigger, biggest.
And you always want more and more and more. And unfortunately, the way the pond was designed in the backyard, they couldn't really see it from the main viewing area from inside, which is this kitchen window right over here.
Okay.
So late last fall, they wanted to get on the books early this spring and have us do this small little pondless stream, just so the area that they sit at every morning, they could see birds.
And there's a pond in the backyard too?
Pond in the backyard.
All right. I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy, and it's all about showcasing how people live the Aquascape lifestyle. Oh yeah, I love that spillway bowl. Starting out the pondless waterfalls. Very nice. So this is only a few months old. So they came in here. They had a natural little slope. That's where the pump vault sits down there. All the aqua blocks sit right on top of there. It just recirculates this beautiful pathway coming up to the front of the house. We got our Aquascape pathway lights in. There's not a person that comes walking around here that's not going to say something about this beautiful pondless waterfall. It looks great. Talk about curb appeal. Get rid of the grass, put in a fountain skate, just like this. All right, but this is just the add-on to the back, right?
This is the front one, and what I like about this one is, I mean, like you said, the curb appeal, but look at how interactive this is right next to the walkway with like the kind of subtle little beach areas, so it's not boulder,
Yep.
all the way up. And I love using these bowls whenever we get the opportunity.
Get some elevation and
Get a lot of elevation without needing a berm this big. Now, if this were a natural looking waterfall, dirt would have to come up this high. If
yes.
dirt came up this high, our berm would have to come all the way out to here.
Right, you lose a lot of the yard, slope over angle.
Lose a lot. And then you can obviously tell they have a green thumb because this was only put in a month and a half ago, 2 months.
Yeah.
And look at all the plants.
That was one of the first things we did, and then we bought.
Hey, how we doing?
How you
Where's
doing?
the master gardener?
I don't know. We're together.
We bought you know, a couple of different things, and Dennis put them in, and then we kind of went with that. Okay, so like the geraniums, we only bought like 2, I think, or 3.
One, yeah.
Or one, yeah. And then we liked the color up there, so we
Perfect.
kept adding to it.
The pink underneath there.
It's a nice palette to work with, right?
Correct.
With the water.
Right.
And these will just look, I mean, this over time is just going to get better and better as it creeps and...
Well, that's a sedum, the one with the little yellow.
Yep.
So this is new this year, but there's a pond in the backyard. And how long's that been in there?
4 years.
Okay. So did Brian design that one?
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see it. Can we go see
Tell
it?
Greg,
Oh.
tell Greg what you were saying about how you're using the two though.
Oh, because this is the east side of the house. The pond is on the west side, so this is beautiful out here in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Coffee or whatever.
Yes.
And then in the evening, after the sun shades the deck, and it's cocktail hour.
So option A, option B, coffee in the morning in the front, cocktail in the afternoon in the back.
And then in the cooler days of fall and spring, it's just the opposite. Then we're chasing the sun.
Yeah.
We're looking for the warm.
A day like today, we can sit out here or in the back because there's no
It's so nice today.
Well, come on.
All right, let's go check it out. Thank you. How long have you lived here?
40 years.
Oh my gosh. Can I see the view from the window here?
Absolutely.
Actually, the best chair is that one over there.
That's your chair? And that's the view? Oh yeah. That looks great. Yeah, right out
I
there.
brought life to this room, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the birds using it and everything?
Oh,
my gosh.
absolutely.
Oh, that's great. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a huge bird bath for them.
All right.
Greg, is this not an awesome backyard? Like, just look at how pristine everything is.
Yes. 40 some years you said you've been here?
Yeah, 43.
4 years for the pond?
Yeah.
4 years for the pond. I had a little guy.
Okay. They done yourself?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We had an above ground pool, and the kids used the heck out of it.
Yeah, when they were younger, yeah.
But when they left, they all left the nest, and you know, then we didn't use it much, and the pool becomes a lot of work.
Yep.
Well,
So,
not to mention all the chemicals and, you know, even the electricity running it all day long or every day or whatever.
I love it. It's a very quaint, and I love how Brian fit it right in here, right between the patio and the walkway and the outdoor shed.
And the vegetable garden.
Oh my gosh, a vegetable garden. You have a lot here.
This used to be all vegetable garden.
Sure.
I try to incorporate the vegetables with the plants, you know, because like the tomatoes, and usually those cucumber plants are all the way to the top of those cages in that corner. But this year, I don't know if it was the heat, but they didn't go up that high. But then usually that kind of just builds the background.
How would you describe living the aquascape lifestyle to someone that never has had a pond before?
Oh, you got to do it.
Yeah, that's easy.
You got to do it.
I mean, people come over here and they just love it.
It's the sound relaxing, it's the fish, it's the birds, it's the nature.
And the grandkids, because we have little fish in here. That's one of the first things they want to do is come out here and feed the fish.
I can imagine. You're cool grandma and grandpa.
You have to go down there from the fire pit side.
Yes.
That's the other place where we sit in late night.
Yep. So really, your lives kind of revolve around the water features in the front and the backyard, huh? The water features and drinks.
So I love coming out and helping these guys design their water feature. You know, like they said earlier, they had a water feature they put in themselves and knew it wasn't to its fullest potential. And when they got rid of an above ground swimming pool as the kids got older and stuff, they knew they wanted a little bit more pond. This is a lot more pond than what they had before, but still not that much. It's not overwhelming. And so I think what I like so much about this pond is the way it just fits in here. Great raised deck, right? And then just a nice little pond. And they knew they were gonna do a small little sitting area over here. So bringing the pond right up in here and then still focusing with that waterfall aiming towards the viewing area. You know, it's all hand-sized boulders. There's not a rock in here that we needed a machine to do. This was a project built with 3 guys. Took them, you know, all day, about 8 to 10 hours. So a 30-man-hour project. So it's, you know, roughly 8 by 6 foot pond at the widest points over there with a little babbling brook stream. And a project like this would cost, you know, right around $7,500 to $8,500. But look at how great it fits. And they've got a lot going on in a small space. So when you look from here to there, you have about 20 feet. And then from here to over there, you probably have 25. And in a 20 by 25 foot area, you have a great natural little ecosystem pond, a pretty decent sized vegetable garden, and then with the tomatoes and the cucumbers and whatever else, and then still room for all the landscape. And you guys know how important the landscape is. I mean, look at the lambs here back over in here and how it's just starting to kind of creep over the rocks. Let's get in a closer look at that. Yeah, just great. And so I think, you know, when the sedums here creeping in, the lambs are there, and just the different textures, the creeping Jenny with that bright chartreuse color, some of the low grow juniper stuff kind of coming and just finding its own way around the rocks. Just an incredible job. All the moss that they've planted. And then like you said, so, or like they were saying, you know, as the sun comes in, it's too hot to sit in the front yard. So after 5 o'clock, they like to come back here. They just kind of relax, sitting here. They still get a view of that waterfall and the sound of the waterfall. And then as the night progresses, they kind of move down over here to the fire pit area and then get a total view of the pond. And then if we go out to the front yard, this is where they start every day. Make the coffee inside the kitchen. Now, instead of sitting at this table looking out, they come out over here to these chairs and look at this great waterfall. And with this big tree above us, the amount of birds that I guess live in this tree are constantly diving back down from the tree to the waterfall, tree to the waterfall, getting a bath in, which is why we created some of these areas here to make this a little bit more bird loving. So the birds aren't gonna bathe in the deeper water in here or this fast moving stuff. They want some of these little areas, riparian habitat. So they want those little gentle moving areas, but awesome place. So morning, start their day, and then back to the backyard to finish off their day. So they have the best of both worlds. Little feature like this, creating a huge impact in a front yard, is an investment of about $7,500. And then you start adding some pathway lights and some other bells and whistles, and of course the price can go a little higher. And again, all done out of hand-sized rocks. No machines needed to set up any of this stuff. I think what's actually cool is if you were to think of doing this yourself, you can almost count how many rocks are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. you know, less than 30 rocks to do this whole project. So if you can picture moving 30 boulders yourself, you could build something like this pretty effortlessly.
He's taking us on a road trip. You know where we're going?
Over to your son's place? Awesome.
So what's the story? I got to hear this story because your son lives a mile and a half from here?
Correct.
Okay, and so what's the story?
They lived in Chicago,
Uh-huh.
but they're both from St. Charles.
Okay.
So they both wanted to come back. His issue was he wanted to find a nice piece of property.
Makes sense.
They found a house they had to tear down, basically.
Wow.
Well, I think
When I put in the pond, he thought I was just going to add on, build a bigger pond
Sure.
myself, you know.
Sure.
And he says, Dad, okay, you know, whatever. And then when he came, we didn't tell him what we were doing. When he came over, he says, this is a legit pond.
And then he got inspired to get a pond too?
Yeah.
And when did we build that?
we built it probably 3 weeks ago.
Are you serious?
Right.
All right, let's go see a new, brand new Aquascape ecosystem pond. This is what I love about my job. And by the way, this is how we sell so many water features. One pond becomes two, two becomes four. When you build a water feature and people see the lifestyle, they want one too, which is exactly why I'm vlogging. So let's go check out a beautiful, brand new Aquascape ecosystem pond over at the son's house. It's so funny. I saw this in the Team Aquascape vlog. I loved the design. Hello. So you must be the daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Ha, I'm the pond guy, Greg.
They finished the wall. But today?
Like an hour.
Really?
What wall?
They wanted to put a seawall in right here.
Okay.
It's next to the fire pit. And so when we were laying out these different designs, like, oh, look how excited she is to see Grandma and Grandpa.
How you doing? Do you like the water? Yeah, she does. She likes it. I love the hair. So were you involved in this or just your husband?
Oh, both of us.
Okay. So Brian, when you were designing this, the challenge that you had was because the yard is so deep and you wanted to bring something up close and personal, right? Is this a brand new house?
About a year to...
So this is what you were saying, they knocked the old house down and built a new house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
They just finished it for a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, the mortar's still like drying.
So apparently your husband was quite impressed with his mom and dad's water feature. And so all of a sudden he had to have one too, huh?
Yeah.
He wanted a swimming pond.
I still want the swimming pond. He still
She
does.
says no.
I didn't want the swimming pond because we have two little ones that I like to be able to run inside and leave them out here, and I don't.
So when they're older, we get the swimming pond. Although when my kids were that age, I had them swimming across the entire pond, literally. 2 years old, they were swimming across the whole pond because my house is a moat.
Wow, look at that.
Let me see. I want to see it. Wow, that's a handsome prince. Is that a prince?
No, it's a girl.
And there's Brian already messing with something. What are you doing, Brian? Checking the pump vault? Make sure there's enough water? Hasn't even been mulched yet. This is really brand new. I remember our Team Aquascape vlog, watching it, because before these vlogs, I could never actually always see the jobs that we were doing because I was traveling, I was doing this, but now I can see every project we do because my entire edict to my guys is if you build it, I want to see it. So vlog it. And so contractors, a bunch of guys that work for me now, have become vloggers because we're trying to educate, we're trying to teach, we're trying to inspire people to build water features properly, which is ponds done right, customer serve right, which is our mantra. This guy never would have got a pond, or a pondless in this case, with a fountain if it wasn't for his dad inspiring him with what they did as a hobbyist and then what Aquascape did coming in there. So the Team Aquascape vlog, which shows the construction of this, every single week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a Team Aquascape vlog, and then Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Greg Wittstock the Pond Guy, and then on Saturdays, Ed the Pond Professor. So we have 3 vlog channels showing all things from construction to lifestyle to the ecology of water features. And I love how they have the fire area down here, they have the waterfalls in the back, and it just creates an entire environment. And then I really love the first thing we saw when we pulled in here was the stacked slate urns, which is the vertical elevation at the end of the driveway. You'll see every single time when you're pulling in. Just gorgeous work, guys. We're gonna come back here when it's landscaped and you're gonna see what this thing looks like completely finished.